welcome back. Now, 3 months after the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, the Black Stars returned to duty for the double-header AFCON qualifier against Angola. Now, today, we'll be delving deeper into the Black Stars squad that was selected by new gaffer Chris Hughton. Now, we have Joseph Wollacott, who returns to the Black Stars after missing the World Cup due to injury. Now, in defense, Patrick Pozo replaces Babaraman Abdul as Seydou Alidu misses out to injury. Also, returning to the Black Stars is Majeed Ashimeru, who makes his return to the Black Stars for the first time since 2021, as Daniel Kofitre of Freiburg is out due to injury. Also, Abdul Fattah Shahak, who featured for Sporting Lisbon yesterday against Arsenal, and also featured for a minute at the World Cup, misses out on the squad due to lack of game time as Joseph Paintsil replaces him. Also, Kamal Soa has been given another chance with the Black Stars. Now on our screen we have here the list for the team. We've got 3 goalkeepers. Joseph Wollacott makes a return to the Black Stars after missing the World Cup due to an injury with his finger. Also, we've seen Patrick Pozo return a little shortly, would go to his statistics. And basically, the other name that's missing here is Seydou Alidu with Clement Foot, who has missed out also due to a long-term injury. In the midfield, Baba Idrisu doesn't make a return to the Black Stars, even though he missed the World Cup due to injury. And in his replacement is Edmund Addo, who left Sheriff Tiraspol to go to Spartak Subotica. Also, the player Asamajan complained about for him to make it to the Black Stars, which is Majeed Ashimeru. The match talked about Majeed Ashimeru finally makes it to the Black Stars for the first time since 2021. That's 2 years ago. Also, we go to the wingers. There we have the familiar names Jordan Ayew, Bukari. Also, the new person here is Joseph Paintsil, who didn't make the Black Stars list, and it caused a bit of anger among the Ghanaian fans. And also, Ransford Yeba, who didn't make the Black Stars, played his last game against Nicaragua, also makes the list. One of our very best players right now, currently in the European scene, Mohamed Kudus, makes the list. Andre Ayew, who is suffering game time in Nottingham Forest in England, has made the list, as well as Iñaki Williams and Antoine Semenyo, who has now joined Bournemouth in the English Premier League. Now let's look at the players from the World Cup list who have not made it in the new AFCON qualifier list by Coach Chris Hughton. And on that, we have Elisha Owusu. Elisha Owusu is out injured. Seydou Alidu, as I told you, is out injured. Ifeanyi Banye moved from House of Folk to FC Zurich in Switzerland. He's out, and he unfortunately has not made it. Danladi Ibrahim is at Kotoko. He's not injured, but he didn't make the list because Joseph Wollacott is now back in the team. Now, Abdul Fattah Shahaku, who I just told about, he played yesterday when Sporting played against Arsenal yesterday. He played about just 5 minutes in that game. This season, he has played less than 300 minutes for the Sporting team. He's not got a lot of minutes, and unfortunately, he suffered for that. Abdul Babaraman has been replaced by Patrick Pozo, and Daniel Kofitre is out injured. Now, let's look at Patrick Pozo. Patrick Pozo's call-up has generated a lot of conversations because he's replacing Abdul Babaraman. Let's look at his stats. He's playing for Sheriff Tiraspol. And those of you who are supporters of Manchester United, you saw him last season play against Cristiano Ronaldo. He took a picture of Ronaldo after that match. He's played just two matches for the Black Stars, like that's the national under-20 team. He plays for Sheriff Tiraspol in the Moldovan League. He's played 7 times in the Moldovan League. He's played 6 times in the Europa League. He's had a bit of matches in the Champions League qualifiers, the Moldovan Cup, Europa League qualifiers, and the Europa League itself. He's got 25 appearances this season, and he's played every single match. So if you check his starting percentage, it's 100%. And he's played every single minute for his club, Sheriff Tiraspol, which means he's a very important player. He's also a very good player because he created the second joint most chances versus OGC Nice in the Europa League yesterday when he operated as a wing-back. He also is very efficient because he's able to swing efficient long passes with his left foot. He has the ability to initiate a counter-attack with a very fast pace. He also has very good recovery at defense and is quite good in aerial duels. Now let's move on to another player. That is Majeed Ashimeru. Majeed Ashimeru here also, he caught a bit of attention when Asamoah, our all-time leading goal scorer, said he was upset because he didn't make the Black Stars list before the AFCON. Now he has been called up. He plays in the Belgian league with Kamal Soa and our professor, Dennis Odoi. He's played 1,198 minutes. He scored 2 goals and 3 assists. This is important because he's a central midfielder. So goals and assists is not particularly very important, but he has it in his strides. He's played 33 matches. He started 44%, so less than half of it. And he has played about 50% of the minutes, which means he's very good. Now, one of the most important players for the Black Stars now, who can complement our attack, we saw against Uruguay, we needed very young players to run at that Uruguayan defense. This is one young lad who can make it. He's just 23 years old. He's Joseph Paintsil. He plays for Genk, also in the Belgian league. He's a right winger, a left winger. He's an attacking midfielder. That means he's a versatile player, can play in several positions. He's played 2,109 minutes. He scored 12 goals and scored 12 assists. And if you check this, he's almost higher than Mohamed Kudus, who is supposed to be one of our most important players. And data collected shows that Paintsil is the first Ghanaian in the Belgian Jubilee Pro League to record double digits in both goals and assists in a single season. He's taking his game to a very high level now, and he's around 79% starting role. He's played 73% of minutes, and his goal participation is 34%, as he has played 27 minutes. He's a very important player. Also, we see here Ransford Yebra, he was brought in by Addo, who brought him. Unfortunately, he played in the game against Nicaragua. He didn't make it into the list. He made it into the 50-man list, and unfortunately, he didn't make it into the final 26. And he plays in the Bundesliga too. He's also played 1,355 minutes, quite an appreciable number of minutes. 23 matches played, 60% of goal participation. Started more than half of their matches, 61%. And he scored 9 goals, which is quite important, because if you check his goals, even though he's not in a very competitive league, you might say, he has more goals than Jordan Ayew and some of our forwards, which means it's quite important that he makes it. And he's one of those young lads who need for our future. And it's interesting what kind of team that Chris HUGHTON will assemble for our match against Angola, which is the first leg is on 23rd March 2023, and then the second leg will be in Angola on the 27th of March 2023 in Luanda, Angola. Well, that's all the sports for now. I'm Eugene Ofori-Soti. Back to Nadima Umar Uthman for more news.
Right, Soti, many thanks for bringing us that update. But is there anyone that was on the call-up that you feel did not deserve a spot? Or was there anyone that was missing from the list that you feel that they should have been called?
It's a very valid question you've raised, because truly there are certain Ghanaians who should have made it into that list. One person is Bernard Tekpete. Another person is Jeffrey Schlupp, who plays for Crystal Palace. He's a very versatile player, left back, left winger, central midfielder. He's a very good player. As well as Bernard Tekpete, who plays for Ludogorets in the Bulgarian league. He's got also about double digits this season in goals and assists. Also a very brilliant player. Interestingly, also Felix Afenajan, he doesn't have a lot of minutes, but the point is this. It means that Coach Chris HUGHTON is also gradually moving away from Felix Afenajan and is going to rely on Antoine Semenyo and Iñaki Williams. So for me, the two players who didn't make the list, which surprised me, would be Bernard Tekpete of Ludogorets in Bulgaria and Jeffrey Schlupp of Crystal Palace in England, a teammate of Jordan Ayew.
Right, interesting days ahead. But thank you, Soti, for joining us. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.